Archimedes, a genius who created foundations and concepts in both mathematics and physics, was a superstar of the ancient world, a legendary mathematician, engineer, and inventor. He was the Einstein of his time. Born around 287 BCE in Syracuse on the island of Sicily, very little is known about his life, but his work spoke for him. Archimedes spent his days diving deep into the mysteries of numbers, geometry, and the physical world. If you've ever heard about someone shouting Eureka in a moment of revelation, well, that was Archimedes shouting, "I have found it." He noticed the water displacement caused by his submerged body, leading to the principle of buoyancy. He realized how to determine the purity of King Hero's gold crown when the king suspected that the goldsmith had cheated him and given him a crown not of pure gold, but of gold that had silver mixed with it. So if the crown were pure gold, its volume would be the same as a piece of gold weighing the same as the crown, and it would displace the same amount of water as the gold. Ever wondered how ships float? Well, Archimedes had the answer. His principle, named the Archimedes Principle, explained why objects float or sink in water, and this was groundbreaking, transforming shipbuilding and elevating it to another level. And on the occasion of the Syracusia, the giant ship designed by Archimedes himself, he used the lever principle to move the ship out of harbor using a complex system of pulleys. Archimedes once said, "Give me a place to stand on, and I can move the earth." He was talking about the lever. Archimedes was obsessed with circles. He found a way to measure the area of the circle approximately by fitting polygons inside. Eventually, Archimedes approximated pi, the ratio of the circumference to the diameter of the circle. He suggested the number of pi before it was measured more accurately 1500 years later. Archimedes determined the surface area of any sphere of radius r is 4 times that of its greatest circle, and that the volume of a sphere is 2/3 that of the cylinder in which it is inscribed. Archimedes was also a wizard in military defense. When his hometown was under siege by the Romans, he crafted war machines, from catapults that threw stones at ships to the iron claw of Archimedes that lifted enemy ships out of water and setting enemy ships on fire, using large mirrors placed on the walls of Syracuse to concentrate solar power at the ships. Though this death ray remains more legend than fact, and to this day, historians and engineers debate whether this is a fact or myth. He also invented the Archimedes screw, a device for lifting water to help poor farmers irrigate their crops, a tool still used in some parts of the world today. The Archimedes palimpsest is an ancient manuscript that hid some of Archimedes' lost works, only to be discovered centuries later. It's like finding a hidden treasure of genius. But sadly, in 212 BCE, when the Romans succeeded in the invasion of Syracuse, and at the age of 75, Archimedes was killed by a Roman guard. But his legacy remains immortal. Archimedes, a man who was ahead of his time, had a massive impact on great figures in history, and modern science owes him big time. From screw pumps to principles of buoyancy, from complex geometry to the beginnings of calculus, Archimedes was a giant of his time. He didn't just live in history, he made it.